Alright, guys. So we are live. I am sure you are able to see my screen. Yeah, thanks, Sandesh. Great. So what I'll do is I'll begin with the usual HPA stuff, where we review the market. We'll see where the momentum is. We'll see some stuff related to sector rotation. And then we will dive right in about the indicator which I've been chatting up uh, all over the place, which is the Khela Hobe indicator, HKH. I've यहाँ पे गलती लिख दिया. So in there, what I will do is first one by one tell you about the each and every components of the indicator, right from here, and then I will tell you the logic behind that candle, which turns white in mine, or yellow in your case probably. And then at last I'll show the backtest result and how that backtest results sort of translates into a performance, okay, at the end of the day. uh, and I think at last, for the HPA guys, I will also explain a little bit about the the this thing on Telegram, which the group where the alerts go in live, and I want a little bit of feedback about this, and the kind of what I'm looking at is like, first of all, I'll explain the PP plus signal. So there is the Khela Hobe and the PP plus which goes on. So here the Khela Hobe and then PP plus Khela Hobe PP plus. So Khela Hobe you all know. PP plus I'm gonna explain a little bit, and then you guys tell me some feedback on, should we difference have different group for KHK and PP, and what is the signal frequency you'd like, because some people wouldn't like very fast signal. Some people want like probably clubbed in like 4 hour 3 4 hours में एक बार signal, so those are the two things which you guys have to tell me. So let's start with the regular stuff. So markets have been amazing. You guys, most people don't need anything right now in this sort of market. But again, if you remember, last week on HPA, we had a slight, sort of had a slight inclination towards Nifty, sort of the large caps and stuff could be started to outperforming. And again, this week also has been a similar story unfolding. So the momentum score looks absolutely amazing. Short term is also at the peak 70-ish. Momentum is above a 3.5. Medium term is also like rising. Trend is rising. Momentum is also rising, and long term is also the same story. So nothing to worry about, or but just keep something in mind that, as the market becomes stretched, the probability of fall becomes more and more. It's very basics, like um, mean reversion will happen as we get more and more stretch from the mean, so there's always a possibility of some sort of correction coming in. So be careful, but unless and जब तक ट्रेंड है तब तक हम लोग ट्रेल करते रहेंगे. So also the 4% up down ratio of 5 day and 10 day is well below 2, and above 2 is basically the signal which tells us that it's bullish, so it's around about 4. So at some point of time, once it gets stretched till 4 5, and then it snaps back, and then again we go bullish, right? So अभी तक ऐसा कुछ हुआ नहीं है. Things are okay, momentum is fine, trend is fine. Sector rotation. So last 5 days में the most bullish sector has been IT and banks, and this is clear from the sector average. So IT and banks performed the best this week. And if you see which cap in IT, you will see that large caps perform the best. So in the last 5 days, IT large caps performed 6%, and it's evident from the likes of HCL and Tata and stuff like that doing well. But ऐसा नहीं कि mid and small caps are not doing well. Mid and small caps in you can see that 20-day they have sort of outperformed. Even the 50-day has been outperformance. So now the large caps are like starting to get a little started to make the noise. Okay. And in banks, sort of the public, not the public, the private banks have started to make some noise now. And you can see that in banks, when I click banks here, the net 4% up down ratio, private sector had today 7% of all private sectors moved more than 4%, and 14% of them moved more than 10% in a week. And you can also see that if I sort them here, you can see likes of RBL, Equitas, Yes Bank, Bandhan, all of these guys are like a mix of private and public, whereas more and more private sector banks are like coming up. So probably bank as a sector is, I mean, private bank as a sector is probably looking better. From the indices point of view, you can see that CNX IT also was the highest performer uh, last week, closely actually followed by PSU Bank. So PSU Bank में एक दो नहीं था, like everyone sort of moved a little bit, and also the large caps, the bigger banks moved more. So again, there is no surprises of sorts here, and the usual suspects are also doing good, which is basically the realty sector is still outperforming most of the stuff. So again, like I said, nothing much new to add in this front. What I'll do is I'll now quickly shift gears and talk about the highly hyped indicator of mine, and which is the Khela Hobe indicator. And it's actually a mix of a lot of indicators. Okay, so what I have in mind is that, like, not everyone can probably afford to take premium subscription. And since the idea was always to facilitate use of not more indicators, but at least use of useful stuff, right? So it's always useful to have, the ATR, what is the squeeze, what is the EPS and stuff, like more stuff with only one indicator. So that was the aim, and the value additions have been a lot in this indicator. So what I'll do is I will start off with explaining the indicator, the mix of indicator one by one. What So let's see if it comes. Come on. Anyways, yeah. Anyways, so here let's start from the inputs. Okay, so here you can clearly see from the visual you have two tables. One is the EPS table, which is from finally Nitin, and it's very easy. You have quarterly earnings. You can also change that to I think you can also change that to yearly earnings, possible somewhere here. And then there is another table which has very high utility. So ATR basically is average true range. And why I want to always look at this number is, like, I always want to get in stocks which has high ATR. High ATR money on an average, they will move X percent. You know, so anything above 2.53 is good. 4.5 is even better. So these are some things which I'm holding right now. And so if you can see that most of them are high ATR stocks, which means that if I can time the entry correctly, and if I get the 4 5 days of momentum burst, so on an average that percent of kind of a move I am getting, right? So that is why high ATR is there. So BBW is basically not what you are thinking. BBW is Bollinger. If anyone has a question, you can just ask. Okay. Um, Priyank, you have a question? Yes. Uh-huh. This one or this one? This one? ये वाला? अच्छा, अच्छा, is it? Okay. So Priyank, can I get back to you on that later? I'm अच्छा, अच्छा। हाँ, आप एक बार करके देखो प्रियंक वो वाला। ठीक है, हाँ हाँ, बाद में। हाँ, बाद में करते हैं ये वाला, ठीक है। ओके, सो BBW माने कि क्या होता है कि जनरली दिस इज अगेन अनदर thing in the market where, like, you know that market is cyclical, and the cyclicality can be in a different forms, right? So prices expand and then it goes into a contraction mode. Contraction के बाद expand होता है, and one way to visualize that contraction, obviously देखने से पता चल जाता है कि ये बंदा अभी contract हो रहा है, right? या आफ्टर दिस एक्सपेंशन ये कॉन्ट्रैक्शन फेज था बेसिकली। बेसिंग फेज में कॉन्ट्रैक्शन दिखता है आपको वीसीपी के तौर पे। सो बेसिकली ये कॉन्ट्रैक्शन हम लोग देख सकते हैं थ्रू बॉलिंजर बैंड, ठीक है। तो मैं बॉलिंजर बैंड लाके दिखाता हूँ यहाँ पे। तो यहाँ पे देखिए, दिस इज़ द बॉलिंजर बैंड, ठीक है। 20 MA का स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन यूज़ होता है। तो यहाँ पे राइट नाउ ये बॉलिंजर बैंड से पता, ये बॉलिंजर बैंड का विथ आपको एक प्रॉक्सी के तौर पे यूज़ कर सकते हो कि कितना ज़्यादा वो हुआ है, कॉन्ट्रैक्शन हुआ है। सो फॉर एग्जांपल इन दिस केस, दिस वाज वेरी मच कॉन्ट्रैक्टेड एंड कॉन्ट्रैक्शन के बाद एक्सपांशन आया, एक्सपांशन में बॉलिंजर बैंड भी एक्सपांड हुआ। सो ऑल्दो विजुअली यू कैन सी दैट इतना एक्सपेंशन है, इतना कॉन्ट्रैक्शन है। दी परसेंटेज हियर गिव्स यू एन आइडिया अबाउट कि भाई कितना वो था। सो फॉर एग्जांपल लेट्स से in IRFC, if I have to tell you, let me replay this. So this part was a huge contraction, right? So यहाँ पे देखिए आप, contraction था 7.8%. So which means that anything below 10 in my opinion is very high. Like anything below 5 4 is a very highly contracted price action. Below 10 is considerable, ठीक है। तो I'll just go through. So 6.2, 6 point something, फिर यहाँ पे देखिए 9 आ गया। इस कैंडल पे कॉन्ट्रैक्शन लाइन था, इस कैंडल पे 12 आ गया। सो विच मीन्स लाइक वो कॉन्ट्रैक्शन अभी एक्सपैंड हो रहा है, राइट। सो बेसिकली tightness traders like me, and again I, ऐसा नहीं कि only trade tightness, but the BBW is a very excellent source of a proxy to see if something is getting tighter. So this is another essential stuff. R vol is basically relative volume. So on a day, so today had a relative volume of 221%, which is 2.2x. And 2.2x of what? That also you can set up here. So again, I will again walk you through. सो दिस इज़ दी ATR आप लेंथ चेंज कर सकते हो। मैं 10 रखता हूँ, डिफ़ॉल्ट 14 होता है, ठीक है। मैं 10 रखता हूँ। R wall is here is R wall as compared to what? So relative volume as compared to the 10 SMA of the volume, right? So in that in here that is my white bar below, ठीक है। तो इस दिन जितना वॉल्यूम आया था, इस दिन का वॉल्यूम आई थिंक अबाउट मोर देन 3 times द 10 दिन का मूविंग एवरेज का वॉल्यूम था, विच मीन्स दैट it is a volume which is considerably higher than normal, right? So that is what we are looking to see. And I'll tell you why this is more important. So again, some people don't like 10, some people like 20, 50. That you can change by yourself. I like 10 because 10 is like okay for me. Right, so this is R wall. Now the fourth one is extended from 20 SMA, right? So this is one way to, what is the word? One way to calculate if a price is extended or not. Okay, so I'll tell you the way first, and then I'll tell you what is the number here. So if anyone was watching IRFC when hit the extreme saw, there was a candle on top like this, which showed that it was extended. So now extension can be calculated in a different ways, right? So so and all of them include, to see how far is the price from something, and that something generally can be a, a moving average which you like. So for example, that can be 50 SMA say extension, 21 SMA say extension, 10 say extension. I like 20 SMA as because generally swing trading के लिए 20 acts as a really nice support. So वहाँ से extended I like. So right now here there are two numbers. This is directly 20%. So if you see from 20 SMA right now the close is 20% above 20.09. Okay, like similar. And the second thing is 5.22 ATR. माने इसका ATR क्या है 4. So how much is 20% in terms of ATR? So that is 5x, right? So from my own observation, what I have seen is that stocks, when they are extended 7 times from the ATR, it is basically extended, और वहाँ से फिर अब घूम के आएगा, mean reversion होएगा, right? So that is what I have here. सो ऊपर से जाएगा तो ये पहले ये डार्क मोड हटाएंगे तो फिर ये ब्लैक वाला आ जाएगा आप लोग के लिए, फॉर पीपल हु यूज़ लाइट कलर. देन अर्निंग स्टेबल विल डिसअपियर. कम ऑन, अर्निंग स्टेबल डिसअपियर मैन. एनीवेज, सो दैट्स द अर्निंग टेबल. हाँ, पीरियड ये एफ वाई भी कर सकते हो. ये क्वार्टरली दिखा रहा है अभी, ये ईयरली दिखाएगा. एंड देन यू कैन शिफ्ट वेयर यू वांट दिस. या टेबल लोकेशन यू कैन स्टिप. सो एम ए एक्सटेंशन अगर आपको नहीं चाहिए देखना तो यू कैन क्लिक अनक्लिक ATR BB विथ आर वॉल, एंड दिस इज मूविंग एवरेज, राइट. सो मैं क्या करता हूँ, मैं 20 SMA से कैलकुलेट करता हूँ. अगर आपको 50 SMA से देखना है, बिकॉज लॉन्ग टर्म गाइज, मीडियम टर्म गाइज यूज 50, राइट. सो देन यू कैन फील फ्री टू चेंज दैट. What if in your opinion 10 times the ATR is extended, then you can change the 10 times. So for me, I find like 7 times gives me like a good enough ballpark estimate. So that's my number, right? Now if you see 15 जब डाला तो यहाँ पे तो बहुत ही चमक गया, right? So 15 ही डालते हैं. I think 20 looks good. So 20 पे now like the extensions are now थोड़ा कम. Now coming, so that's there, and the last one is market cap. This is fairly simple. Free float is fairly simple. Which sector and which subsector or industry it is from, right? So this two covers everything. Now let's go and see कि यहाँ पे क्या क्या चमक रहा है. तो the first thing यहाँ पे जो चमक रहा है वो है ये पर्पल कलर का स्क्वायर शेप्ड थिंग, and that is basically my uh, triple B Ultra Pro Max. So triple B stands for BBB, which is buy before breakout, right? So there was a very nice example today. So कल, हाँ, so for example buy before breakout आया and then next day breakout आता है. So buy before breakout is actually not an entry trigger. Buy before breakout जब आता है तो it basically tells you what, that the base is constructive. Okay. So for example, BSE is a great example, wherein just before the breakout, triple B comes and signals, and it basically tells me that that the base is really constructive. If someone is interested to know how I have coded this, I have all the conditions freely available for everyone to read. I honestly do not believe in knowledge gating. Okay, मेरे को जो आता है मैं सबको बताता हूँ, और दी होप इज़ दैट उससे मैं भी कुछ सीखूँ, राइट. सो देर इज़ नो वो गेटिंग हियर. हाउ आई हैव कोडेड दिस इज़ लाइक क्या क्या यूज़ करके कोड किया सब आप देख सकते हो यहाँ पे. सो दैट बेसिकली टेल्स मी दैट द बेस इज गेटिंग कंस्ट्रक्टिव नाउ. सो IRFC में भी यू कैन सी दैट on this day it fired, even it fired on that day, and I have basically two signals, and both of the signal tells the same thing. One is a triple B, one is a pro buy, and थोड़ा सा difference है. This was the first version, then this was the second version, but I've kept both together. And you can change the color and stuff, and you can also change how it looks like and stuff like that. Okay. So that is for the first thing. The second thing is there are two different candles. Now candle one, which appears a lot, which is the blue color candle, and you can find that here. So visible, not visibility, inputs, style में ये color one is this color candle, and that is basically a pocket pivot, right? Now pocket pivot is a candle which generally is the percentage changes higher than 3. Now I you can say that you don't like 3, you can put 3.5, that is also fine. It's basically a bullish candle. Now bullish अभी हमारे मार्केट में 3% इज़ अ बुलिश, आपके मार्केट में 3% नहीं भी हो सकता है बुलिश, राइट? सो देन यू हैव टू चेंज इट अकॉर्डिंगली. अगर आप लार्ज कैप में देख रहे हो तो लार्ज कैप में 2% इज़ ऑल्सो बुलिश, राइट, ऑन अ डे. सो देन you change accordingly. So 3% is bullish for me for whatever I trade. And then PP डे माने कि 3% तो ठीक है, उसके अलावा पॉकेट पिवट के लिए क्या होना चाहिए कि द वॉल्यूम शुड बी हाईएस्ट देन द रेड डे इन द लास्ट 10 days, right? So let me give you an example. um, so okay, so for example, let's say this one also is more than 3%. This one is a pocket pivot, whereas this is not a pocket pivot. Why? Because इसका जो वॉल्यूम है, दिस वॉल्यूम इज लेसर देन द रेड डे इन द लास्ट 10 डे. सो ये वाला रेड डे का वॉल्यूम कितना था? द वॉल्यूम हियर वॉज where's the volume? Here is 442, and this day ka volume is 442.8, this day ka volume is 442.8. So this is exactly similar but not higher, right? So that's why this is not a pocket pivot. And pocket pivot is a concept by these O'Neill disciples called Chris Catcher and Jill Morales. They also have written big huge books about it, so you can go and read more about them. Okay, so this is basically pocket pivot, and the color you can change it from here. So if I then change it to yellow, this will also change it to yellow. Okay, so अभी के लिए मैं blue रखा हूँ. Now दे ये डमी है, ये कुछ नहीं करता है. Color 2 doesn't do anything. Now color 1 is the Homma Khela Hobe candle. Okay, now Homma Khela Hobe candle, let's go to IRFC again. So Homma Khela Hobe candle, here is, like I said again, this is the color. And what is this candle like? ये कब appear होता है, right? What does this signal? So Homma Khela Hobe candle signals an expansion out of a tight area, right? So if you see here, this was a tight area. So I have some conditions of tightness. अगर tightness होने के बाद ये tightness को break होके निकल रहा है, then the candle appears as a white. Now this doesn't have the condition of the 3%, because all I want is a breakout. Sometimes breakout can happen and the candle can be less than 3%. So that percentage वाला thing नहीं है यहाँ पे, right? So let me just replay this for you guys, okay? And so until here you can see that like BBW 12.29%, 11 point something, and then this is basically tight in whatever I have coded for tightness. So this like 10.35, and then suddenly this appears. Now the tightness has been broken, and that's why this is this candle is like so again it's getting tight, and when it breaks out of that tightness, so this candle is this one. So now this fires as soon as some of the volumes conditions are met, right? So this candle is special because it not only gives you the breakout of a tight area, it also gives you breakout of a tight area which satisfies some volume condition. Because from what I have already read about this, but this bull market especially made me realize the importance of volumes. And from the studies which I have done, I saw that, like, the difference between a good follow through versus not a good follow through is one key differentiator is volumes. Okay, so basically I have coded things like my volume should be greater, the R vol on that day should be greater than 4.5x of the 10 SMA. Okay, so यहाँ पे obviously it's like greater than 4.5x of 10 SMA. In here it's not, but I also have another condition, like in 30 minutes, in the 30 minutes 30 minutes my volume has is more than, you know, the previous day ka volume. So that also tells me that in a very short span of time there was huge amount of a demand which sort of pushed the price out. So those are the things which I've coded here, and that is basically the signal. And if you just go and do this study, look at the best movers in the last few months or weeks, what you can see is that it's very easy to identify that the start of large moves are always triggered by a shift from contraction to expansion. तो एंजल वन पे ये था, ये दिस वाज अ VCP like a 1T 2T 3T. The 3T VCP से जो breakout निकला, that was preceded by a Khela Hobe candle, right? And sometimes what happens is, if the contraction is like not so contracted also, then the breakout candle would be like just a pocket pivot candle. So angel one, this was the start of the this one. Netweb, uh, netweb में क्या था, the start of the momentum was a big gap up. Okay, and after that the continuation of the momentum was on the pocket pivot volume. So Mangalam Cement, this breakout happened using this guy, the Homma Khela Hobe. Most Adani stocks started their momentum using the Khela Hobe signal. Swan Energy, in here it appears here, pocket pivot appears. So, so this is a recurring phenomena in the market. This is not something I've conjured up, but this is actually so in here you see HBL Power on this gap up was a Khela Hobe candle. Okay, and wherever it is not, it is either a pocket pivot or a gap up. Like for example, on this it was a gap up. It was neither a pocket pivot nor a Khela Hobe, but it was a gap up. So that was start of the momentum. And the third one which you will realize is that sometimes the start of like big momentums are always associated with HVY candles, which is basically highest volume in the year candle. Okay, so these are some of the factors आपको मिलेगा ही मिलेगा. So Adani Power में this would have become a Khela Hobe candle, but the tightness was not so tight for it to consider this. So that's why it's just a pocket pivot. But again, you can see that it already signaled the coming of power inside the base when the triple B appeared. So Adani Power yesterday, triple B appeared today. It sort of started the up move. So in short, the indicator what I am showing you has been well thought of to catch momentum. Okay, and now so you don't have to believe me. What I've done is I have sent the results to this guy who's a SEBI registered guy, and he basically tests a lot of these uh, you know whatever क्या बोलते हैं इसको. तो when I sent him, I got the results. Okay, so I'll show you now the backtested results of this. Again, there are big people in the audience here who knows a lot of things about backtest. So I'm just showing you one sort of backtest of this. Okay, so before showing you backtest of bullish regime, so bullish regime mein I sent the total of 1900 trades, which is ranging from the last 6 months or so. उससे पहले मैं डाउन ट्रेंड का रिजल्ट भेजा, तो ये डाउन ट्रेंड का रिजल्ट है 492 ट्रेड्स. सो एंड आई ऑल्सो हैव साइडवेज का रिजल्ट. ओके, सो पहले डाउन ट्रेंड का देख लेते हैं, एंड ऑल ऑफ देम आर सेम. You have first so So how the backtest is done? The backtest can be done like in a lot of different ways, but the simplest way to do here is that what we have considered कि once at the end of the day, ठीक है? This is very important to know. So for example, IRFC में यहाँ पे आया, तो the actual the actual trigger in my system already happens before whenever the breakout is happening. Okay, so for example, let's say um, let's say today. Okay, let me not go into that, but so how the result was tested, that we took a price point, so that price point was the close. Okay, so in this case, in this day IRFC का close हुआ about 82.2 पे, right? And if we are saying that the day the Khela Hobe candle appears, we go long and we keep a stop loss of X percent, in this case different stop losses 4, 6, 8, 10, and then we say that we take profit at a multiple of that. So yeah, 4% stop loss, 8% take profit, and then is basically different RRs, which is basically risk to reward. So 2R, 3R, 4R, 5R करके मतलब we then tested कि different scenarios में क्या होएगा. तो we can see that in a downtrend, like yes. Yeah, so for example, this is basically the risk, this is reward, how many of them are winners, how many of them are losers, and this is at 20 day. Okay, so 20 दिन से अगर ज़्यादा कुछ भी ट्रिगर नहीं हुआ तो इट विल काउंट एज साइडवेज. ठीक है, सो टोटल ट्रेड कितना था, विनिंग एवरेज होल्डिंग पीरियड वाज 14 days, losers were 7 days, win rates RR was 2, win rate was 21, and XYZ. So you can see that clearly on a downtrend, and downtrend में breakout और trading ही नहीं करना है अपने आप को. So this was a losing strategy on a downtrend. Now let's go and see sideways में क्या था. So you can see that win rate was 21% in a downtrending market. In a sideways market, win rate is slightly better. ठीक है, तो win rate is like 29%, but 29% to R में will still give you a losses, right? So even in a sideways market, it was not profitable. Because obviously it's not a mean reversion it's a breakout strategy. Now coming to the bullish signals. So bullish signals, we tested 1935 total trades, and here we had 4% risk, 8% reward, and in 20 days almost all, like only 155 out of 1900 trades did not trigger SL or the uh, profit. 863 were winners, 917 were losers. Okay, so that gives us a win rate of 44%, right? And then also a lot of other win rates are also still okay, like 1 is to 3, 3R is like 35, but mostly from this the 2Rs are better. So if you have 6% stop loss and a 12% reward, uh, uh, take profit, that gives you 41%. Now you have to first also think that this is not ideal. Okay, because ideally one would not wait till 82. People in HPA already know that we have alerts which goes as soon as stuff hits, right? So on the day IRFC day, I remember 78, 79ish, I think we already had the trigger, right? So this is still quite late. So in uh, the actual results would, in my opinion, be better than this. That's what I'm trying to say, right? So but even the suboptimal numbers also looks good here, at least using this number. So now the question is, how would this translate again, like how would this translate to so this is suboptimal in another way also. Why I will tell you is that you will not, if a trade goes on correctly. So for example, IRFC, let's say let's say for example, one would have, if you would have taken a trade here with a 4% stop loss, right? तो आपका 4% stop loss, let's say इसका यूज़ करते हैं. So 4% stop loss is here, and then 2R would be somewhere here, right? So you will definitely not have been selling everything here, right? So what we do is we do de-risking 50%. So once you get a 2R, you sell 50%, and the rest 50% you leave as long as the trend is there. So on a bullish market, that's the way to trade, right? You trail for a bigger profit. And so those things, I'm just putting it out there, just to make sure that this is not the ideal case scenario. Ideal case scenario would be even better than this. But even using this, okay, now if I have to tell you ki, let's take a let's take a scenario where, like, let's see, let's say an account which is 1 lakh rupee, okay, using these numbers, and given that there is a year of bull market, and given that sort of you automatically follow this strategy, how what percent will your account be at the end of the year, right? So for that you have to basically say that on a given year how many trades I can take. So if you see, average winners are 12 days का ट्रेड होता है, एवरेज लूजर्स का ट्रेड होता है 9 डे. सो ऑन एन एवरेज वन ट्रेड विल कॉस्ट यू अराउंड 10 days, राइट? एंड if you say there are 250 days in a year, in a year you will be able to take, let's say, 25 trades, okay, just for the sake of argument. Now let's go to the simulator and see how those numbers transform in a real life scenario. So win probability हमारे पास है 44%, ठीक है? So lose for probability 56, although 56 again not true, because you know that 155 are yet to be decided, but let's say 155 सारे loss में ही चले गए, that will give you a loss probability of 56%, right? Now let's consider some hypothetical scenarios. Let's consider 1 lakh रुपये का मेरा अकाउंट है, और मैं एक ट्रेड में साइज 10,000 डालता हूँ, and this will give me 10 such trades opportunity at any point of time. Second scenario में 25,000 डाल रहा हूँ, right? And both of, in this case I have a risk on portfolio 0.4%, in this case 1%. So in that case risk will be 400 रुपया, reward will be 800 रुपया, because 2 आवर हम लोग खेल रहे हैं, 1,000 रुपया, 2,000 रुपया. टोटल नंबर ऑफ ट्रेड्स इन अ ईयर 25 आएगा दोनों में, ठीक है? तो देर इज़ टू वेज टू टेल यू कि आफ्टर 1 year क्या होएगा. सो वन वे टू कैलकुलेट दिस इज कैलकुलेट द एक्सपेक्टेंसी. तो एक्सपेक्टेंसी माने क्या? विन रेट इनटू विन. सो लेट्स से इन दिस केस 400 इज द विन, सॉरी 800 इज द विन, and win rate is 0.44 minus a losing rate into lose. So 0.56 is the losing rate and lose is 400. So expectancy per trade is कि आप अगर 1,100 ट्रेड कर लो तो पर ट्रेड पे आपको 228 रुपये बनेंगे, यू नो, गिवन दिस वन. सो नाउ एक साल में आप कितना ट्रेड्स ले सकते हो? 25, और 25 इंटू 228 विल बी 5,700 profit from a capital of 10,000. So that translates to 57%. Again, this is again like not accurate, because थोड़ा सा पैसा इधर उधर जाएगा, ये this that, like, you know, it's not like that. But given the numbers which we got from the backtest, this is sort of the percentage you can expect. Now we can do this another way. So this is a Monte Carlo simulator. तो आपने डाल दिया 44% win rates, 56% losing rate. Win amount, let's say win amount same 400 रुपया डाल रहे हैं हम लोग, just to, sorry, not 400, 800 रुपया, 800. Then you say how much you are losing. If you are losing 400, एंड कमीशन डाल दिया 20 रुपया, जो ज़ीरोधा खा के बैठता है उसके लिए हम 20-30 रुपया डाल दिया, राइट? एंड देन यू सी, लेट्स से आपका बिगिनर वो है 10,000, ओके. सो So this will basically simulate, let's say 500 times. If you run this, you will, wait, this is not running properly. So you see that after first wala आपका win गया, then second wala भी win गया, then this is your पैसा आपका बढ़ बढ़ के at the end of at the end of 25 trades, from you started with 10K and you end up with 15K, right? So that is basically around 50% izafa. Let's say like now in case of 10,000, let's say we have 1 lakh rupees, okay? And let's just directly translate the numbers. So 4% of 1 lakhs would be how much? 4,000. And so 2R of 4,000 would be how much? 8,000. Loss is 4,000, right? And in here, after 25 trades, you have 1,47,000. So that is from the numbers which we've got from the backtest, which was again not ideal. Why was it not ideal? Because we have considered the data point at the close, okay? But one can also enter when the thing is actually just this one. So I'm just picking up one value, and you can see that from here 4%, 4 to 8 is profitable. As well as there are some other also which is profitable. So 6% risk, 12% reward is also very profitable. It will give you 41%, right? So that was the backtest result, and I hope this adds to a little more credibility of the indicator. And if you also just go and look at the names which have, so what I do is every day I take out 10-15 minutes to run my Bondage study scanner. So Bondage study scanner में आपको क्या मिलेगा? Anything which has doubled in last 50 days, anything which has moved 20% in 20 days, stuff like that. I basically go through every day because I want to keep learning how a stock moves, how a big mover moves. And when I basically go through this name, it becomes evident that what are the characteristics of the breakout candle which actually moves, okay? The thing is, not all Khela Hobe candle will move 50%, but almost 80% of all 50% movers will start with the Khela Hobe candle, right? So that brings a lot of so Hindustan Petroleum, what happened? This was a pivot breakout. This was a breakout. What candle did appear here? This candle appeared, right? Again, Techno Electric, what candles appeared? The blue ones appeared, right? SR Shipping, the blue ones appeared. IRFC, the KHK appeared. Here, so you see Ratan India, this momentum burst was 3T VCP breakout किसके साथ हुआ? Khela Hobe के साथ हुआ, right? So if you basically study big movers every day, you will pick up these characteristics. All I have done is I have codified it and made it visually more like you cannot miss. Chem bond, gap up, PP as well as Khela Hobe. What happened? You got a very nice move, right? Yeah, actually, let me go to, not sure if I have today's list, but yeah. So GNFC, we've been tracking GNFC since here. Again, so there are again so many other things which in my study I have noticed that even in all Khela Hobes, which ones are the ones which go on to make a bigger move. Those kind of studies I am doing. I'm not yet ready to share those studies, but this signal can even further be made better. ठीक है. एंड सो अल्फा जियो आज आया ये. अभी अभी will is this a high probability candle? Not so much. Why? I'll tell you. Because this is below 50-day moving average, and this also did not close well. DCR 59% है. Anything above 70-80 is better, and also the Mars is well below the outperforming zone. So there are certain filters again. These are the things which I will be talking to the HPA guys more and more, and I'll also be writing about it. So uh, so TCS में आया आज, but generally what happens is large cap में नहीं आता है, because large cap don't make this move. But when a large cap is making a Khela Hobe candle, you know that that particular industry sector is possibly going to outperform. So one example I'll give you is that the the um, the realty sector, right? So realty stocks, not this. The big guns in realty moved with a lot of the KHK candles. निफ्टी realty कहाँ मिलेगा मेरे को? See, Prestige Estates. I mean, this is not like a big this one, a large cap. But see, what was the signal of the move? What was the signal of the move? What was the signal of the move? Shobha, what was the signal of the move? Godrej, यहाँ पे gap up with the PP. Brigade Enterprise. This breakout of 2T happened with this guy. Sean Energy, 100% move, more than 100% signal. So okay, I will stop here. 9:18. We still have some time for questions. But before I move on to taking feedback on the Telegram thingy, I will like to take as many questions as you might have on the KHK. Let's go. Let's go. Yes. So, I will let you complete your question. I have this really bad habit of. बताइए ज्योति जॉय बताइए. Yeah, so as all the conditions on the indicator hits, uh, which is basically all of this, okay, the moment it hits all of these conditions, it will basically fire. And that can fire 9:15, that can fire 9:30, 12 p.m., that can fire at 3:28 p.m. See, the like I said, I am not a big fan of knowledge getting. The scanner is free. People who are subscribed to the free version of my newsletter has that scanner. This particular indicator is only available to my private group. Yes, you can go Substack, read my stuff, and it'll be either in the welcome email or in one of the articles. So it is mostly designed for daily people, okay? But it also works in 30 minutes, anywhere above 30-minute time frame. So if you see IRFC is din bhaga na, so is din, if you see it on a 30-minute time frame, you already see in here. See this? Yeah. So whenever like the 30-minute thing also gets triggered, which basically is a volume signal, which means that the bullishness is coming with high volumes, that will trigger. So anywhere from 30 minutes, I think, till like whatever time frame there is. So 30 minutes to daily, it will work. Now, sorry, go ahead. Yeah, yeah. So exactly. So the backtest results are here. This is a very brute force backtest. You have you have almost a 50% failure rate uh, in here. But again, like at some point of time, uh, yeah, 50%, let's say. Yeah, so one more thing I wanted to add in terms of the time frame you asked. Someone also had a question that can we use this as a intraday trading indicator? In my opinion, one can use it as an intraday, and how the best to use it would be to use it as an entry signal in the morning half. So 9:15 से 9:30 तक कोई भी अगर ट्रिगर आ जाएगा तो आप इंट्राडे कर सकते हो वहाँ पे, बिकॉज आई बिलीव दैट uh, most of the time that breakout will give you like one two at least more than 2-3% move in a day in the morning. So I haven't uh, Jitu bhai, if you are here, I haven't like tested this intraday wise. I'm sure you can help me with that to test this, but I think it has a lot of utility for intraday traders too. All right, so I'll take a couple of questions in here. So Chiranjit says somewhere towards the end, please do try to share best entry rules after Khela Hobe. I'm actually writing an article, so let's keep it for that. The point should be called खेला खत्म 7 times. हाँ, कर सकते हैं, वो कर सकते हैं, उसका नाम चेंज कर सकते हैं. Please share the indicator. Oh, sure, Chandra. Please send me your TradingView username. uh, you will probably have my WhatsApp number. Just share the name, and I'll share the indicator with you. If on a chart all three appear, purple triple B, KH, and purple PP, then what should the order of preference? See, like first of all, purple triple B is not a buy candle per se. When I was developing that, I was developing it because that was like a sideways downtrend period, and I wanted to सी कि कौन सा बेस ऑलरेडी अच्छा है, सो दैट आई कैन ऑलरेडी एंटिसिपेट कि ये बेस बेस अच्छा है तो इस पर ब्रेकआउट होएगा. 2-3 दिन पहले भी घुस सकते हैं, because in some days the breakout is going to come. So at least in bullish markets, triple B is should not be taken as a entry signal. Why? Because there is no guarantee that as soon as it appears, next day it will fire. You can also see in IRFC also, it appeared couple of days ago and then it didn't fire. So this is not a right way to appear. Second thing, uh, most PPs which are more than 4%, 5%, वहाँ पे ट्रिपल बी नहीं आएगा, बिकॉज ट्रिपल बी ओनली विल अपियर इन कैंडल्स विच इज़ लेस देन 5%. तो सटल स्ट्रेंथ ही दिखाता है पीपीबी, सॉरी ट्रिपल बी. तो एकदम 5% से बड़ा कैंडल हो गया तो वो तो सटल नहीं रहा. तो सटल जहाँ पे नहीं रहेगा वहाँ पे मेरा ट्रिपल बी नहीं आएगा, ठीक है. सी, if one is trading a breakout, and trading a breakout is always good if you trade it with some confirmation of strength, right? So PP and KHK would be my preference. If I am trading a pullback, or like if I'm trading a sideways market where breakouts are sort of failing, then I'd be like little more clever and use triple B as an indicator to time my entries a little ahead. So I hope this makes sense. पार्थ ब्रो, जूम इन नहीं ब्रो, मैं आपको जूम इन करके स्क्रीनशॉट भेजूंगा बाद में. हाय प्रशांत, सो द परसेंटेज 82 इज बेसिकली DCR. So for example, let's say is this one. So if a candle closes at the absolute high of the day, that is basically 100% DCR. D माने DCR, D closing range, uh, something something है DCR का नाम. But basically it tells you that how strong the close is. If the close price is exactly the high price, that will give you 100. So for example, let's say दो तीन एग्जाम्पल दिखा देते हैं आपको. um, for sure there will be some BVHBs today which so Zensar Tech was a very nice name which came today. uh, and you can see I think यहाँ पे देखिए ट्रिपल भी फायर हुआ, माने कि सटल स्ट्रेंथ दिख गया अपने को, एंड देन नेक्स्ट डे ब्रेकआउट भी आ गया. ऑलमोस्ट ऑल द टाइम नहीं होता है ये, बट यू गेट द आइडिया. सो 81%, माने कि टॉप से ये पूरा कैंडल 81% पे बंद हुआ है. श्रिल बंद हुआ है 66%. एंड एनीथिंग बिलो 66% आपका ये लाल कलर का आ जाएगा, मतलब हो सके तो उस पर एंटर ना कीजिए, because at the end of the day वो fail. I mean the I think 65 is the code below and above. But infobin, like see, like 12, like R wall is 793, almost 8 times the 10-day moving average. माने मतलब ये आप और हम तो नहीं है, right? टेक्समो पाइप्स 100%, माने एकदम 100% पे क्लोज हुआ है. क्लोज प्राइस इज इक्वल टू इट्स हाई प्राइस. सो दैट्स दिस वन. व्हाट्स द नेम ऑफ स्कैनर इन डिस्कशन? Um, yeah, daily close range. Thanks, Lalit. Thanks. DCR. Yes, daily closing range. Yes. Okay. The Anil, the name of the scanner in discussion is the BVHB candle we have. That's the scanner. Yeah. Okay. Any more questions, guys? Hi, Rahul. Yes. हाँ, कलर जीरो इज फॉर द खिला होबे. वाइट वाइट में आएगा. हाँ, फॉर द पीपी. यस. एंड ये डमी कलर है, इसमें कुछ नहीं आता है. पता नहीं ललित ने क्यों बनाया है. हाँ. या 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 इज नॉट गुड. या एग्जैक्टली. That's a brilliant point. That's a brilliant point. Rahul, I think I should backtest this with 1 hour. And also I can send the so यहाँ पे जो data point है ना राहुल, that's also the end of the day वाला data point, which is actually not a good way to test it, because खेला होबे अगर 10% आ गया तो 10% में तो नहीं, अगर 4% में ही आ जाएगा वो, right? तो I think we can still have better results. And like I said already कि these are substandard results, and substandard results also giving not bad numbers. Exactly. E- Exactly. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I will run the numbers again, and hopefully make a discussion on this. Okay. Thank you, man. Great point. Let me just note it down. नहीं तो भूल जाएगा मैं. Yeah. Anyone else has questions, please? Okay. Anyone else has questions, guys? Okay, last question. Chiranjit is asking, does it make sense to enter while the candle is huge, like say 10 to 20, 12%? So, so I'll tell you, like, try to enter early as possible, but sometimes given the context of the breakout, even entering after a 10 to 12% makes sense. Now, I am someone who, by virtue of the kind of trader I am, don't like to trade when, because I so much, like I take so much pride in entering at the correct position. I am my own biggest enemy in this case, right? But I really want to change this psychology, because in a raging bull market, and if the breakout is from a sound base plus a big base, okay, so big is the most important thing here. If the breakout is from those, then I'll tell you, big base breakouts even after 10-12% will give you huge moves. Some examples I would like to show you. Inox Green. So Inox Green broke out ऑन दिस डे 11% हुआ, ठीक है. मैं झिझका, मेरे को आई आई न्यू दिस वॉज अ ग्रेट ब्रेकआउट, लाइक GREAT, ग्रेट ब्रेकआउट, राइट. But still I did not enter, but still I knew that this is probably going to follow through. So I am slowly trying to like hack my brain, and that will happen when I see more and more data. So for example, BEPL again I missed because that day I overslept, and I woke up at around 10 o'clock, and at that time already this guy was, and we had been quoting as a group this guy. We knew that it is such a great base, जिस दिन फटेगा मजा आएगा, but I still could not enter. But I'm just showing you a couple of examples in which, given the context, and the context here is big base, volumes are clear, and market conditions are bullish, right? 10% chalega, you can enter. There is no problem. Inox Wind. This was a big base breakout. 11%. Great breakout. We knew that this day was coming. And you see, big base breakout, the volumes were like almost none. This breakout was a tradable one in like that. I can show you so many more examples, but I think that's the message. ओ आज फटाना वो वाला या. हाँ, तो इस पे भी इन माय ओपिनियन दिस कैन बी ट्रेडेड, ओके. नाउ यू सी. हाँ, तो इस पे थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम ये है कि ये बंदा ज़ीरो के नीचे है, बट इट्स राइट नाउ अबाउट टू क्रॉस, ठीक है. इट्स ऑल्सो अबव 50 विच इज़ रियली गुड, एंड the volumes were also almost like dried up here. It's also good. DCR is also okay, ऊपर ही बंद हुआ है. Plus there is some angle of defense and stuff like that, and अभी तो पूरा मतलब न्यूज़ पे छाया हुआ है. अभी और लोग देखेंगे इसको, और लोग बाई करेंगे. सो इन कॉन्टेक्स्ट लाइक दिस आई थिंक दिस कैन स्टिल बी ट्रेडेड. वर्स के सिनेरियो ये क्या करेगा बंदा, ये 2-3 दिन इसी के इर्द गिर्द घूमेगा, and then actual like follow through breakout comes. This is what happens. But if this candle would have been somewhere here, just let me like draw like, so let's imagine this candle was somewhere here, and then you had the 10% wala breakout, and that breakout was breaking out of a bigger base. मतलब पक्का, मतलब that can be a viable breakout for sure. Great, man. Thanks for the question. Will I get access to if I subscribe to subscribe? Vamitesh, you will not get you will not get access. But I am giving free access till 31 of this month, just for you to check if you actually like it or not. What indicator is the below one? Which is the below one, man? Ayo, yes. So that is the best RSI indicator in the entire planet, made by um, uh, a good friend, my good friend finally Nitin. Yeah, so this is called Mars, MARS, moving average relative strength by finally Nitin. Okay, 863 people are using it. We have our own version because until a couple of days ago, this moving average was not there. And so Lalit from my group helped me make this, and Lalit is the one which is helping me in all of these making this wonderful indicators. So this is Mars by Nitin. So see, the indicator is quite simple, and I'll just give you example here also. So you see, stocks are cyclical. Stocks go through a period of outperformance and then underperformance, right? So what you do is the general strength of the market देखने के लिए you follow a particular index or something, right? So for me, the closest a mirror of the strength in the market is the Nifty 500. So you say index compared to CNX 500. You can also compare this to Nifty or whatever you like. You basically compare to any other stock also. So as compared to that, how is your stock in question is performing? So the if the Mars is above zero, it means that in the last 50 days, your stock has been performing higher than the whatever compared index or stock, right? So whenever you see an outperformance or the momentum burst starts when this the Mars sort of kisses the 0 point and then starts to go up. Okay, so a couple of examples I'll give you here. So for example, let's say kill pest. So kill pest, what happened here? You see, this guy, the outperformance started with a Khela Hobe candle, right? And at the same time, the Mars, which is the relative strength, also turned positive. माने कि ये it has started to outperform the general market, which in this case is CNX 500. उसके बाद से outperform at some point of time, because stocks are cyclical. They cycle from outperformance to down performance or exhaust क्या बोलते हैं इसको expansion to contraction. तो expansion खत्म हुआ, outperformance is now slowly outperformance turned to down performance because it moved to zero. And when this guy breaks out, your signal will also be the outperformance in the form of Mars crossing back to zero, right? So same thing you can see in stupid. This guy started outperforming with a Khela Hobe candle here. Again, this is no joke, guys. I'm not hyping things up, okay? Everything starts with PP or Khela Hobe. No joke. Not a joke. So the moment it started the outperformance, also it started the outperformance in price. And now and now धीरे धीरे ये आईटाइट फ्लैग से जब ब्रेकआउट होएगा, at that time this guy will again possibly kiss zero, or even if it doesn't kiss zero, it starts to again bend up, right? This is Mars, yes, yes. See, Schwann energy, again, not even kidding, bro. So the same thing happened. Outperformance, then outperformance slow down, and at some point of time, again it started to outperform. At that time, KHK also fired. I entered here yesterday. Why? One very important point was also because it's breakout and it was a pullback confirmation, but also because Mars started outperforming. मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लगता है whenever Mars starts to outperform. So another example I'll give you, IMCO Elecon. IMCO Elecon outperform, base, breakout, बट देखो ये माल अभी भी नीचे जा रहा है. When the base on base है, this is base on another base. When this base starts to break out, this guy will signal. Same thing will happen everywhere. जिक्रे also, this guy will now, अभी ये मूविंग एवरेज के नीचे है, मूविंग एवरेज क्रॉस ओवर जिस दिन होएगा उस दिन डबल अप करेंगे इधर. नायकल में भी सेम करेंगे. यस, हुज दिस? यस, डॉक्टर सुमित भूरा. हाँ, हेलो. आप आपकी आवाज़ कट कट के आ रही है सर. अच्छा सुमित जी, आप अपना क्वेश्चन फिर से बताएंगे? मैं मतलब सुना ही नहीं दिया. अभी आ रही है, हाँ. अभी आ रही है. हाँ जी. हाँ जी. नहीं नहीं, वो अभी आप अगर इसका यूज़ करोगे तो मैं दिखा देता हूँ आपको, ठीक है। तो लेट्स से अपना वाला हटा देता हूँ। और अगर आप जाके अभी इसका यूज़ करोगे, अपने नितिन भाई का, मार्स मार्स नितिन का अगर आप यूज़ करोगे तो एकदम ऐसा आएगा, देखिए सिमिलर है मेरे जैसा। देख रहे हो? आई थिंक नितिन हैज़ सी एन एक्स, हाँ उसका भी सी एन एक्स 500 है। तो बिल्कुल कुछ नहीं चेंज करना है, एग्जैक्टली आता है अभी। ठीक है, ओके। हाँ वो बढ़िया रहेगा। तो आपको अभी क्या है, आपका नेकेड सिग्नल मिल गया, तो आपको अभी क्या देखना है कि अभी मैं प्रोबेबिलिटी अपने और कैसे शिफ्ट करूँ, समझ रहे हो? तो देर आर सर्टेन थिंग्स विच आई विल बी स्पीकिंग ऑन मोर। तो एक तो है मार्स अगर जीरो के लाइन से ऊपर होएगा तो और बढ़िया होएगा, बिकॉज दैट्स ऑलरेडी अ आउट परफॉर्मिंग स्टॉक। तो मार्स अगर ईएमए का क्रॉस बैक किया तो वो भी बढ़िया लगेगा। आपका क्लोजिंग अगर डीसीआर मस्त 70-80 के ऊपर रहा तो वो भी अच्छा होएगा। 50 SMA के अगर ऊपर प्राइस है तो वो भी बढ़िया रहेगा। एंड इफ द कैंडल इज एक्चुअली ब्रेकिंग आउट ऑफ अ बेस, दैट्स इवन बेटर। समटाइम्स इफ इट डजंट ब्रेक, देन व्हाट हैपेंस इज नेक्स्ट डे इट सप्लाई आ जाता है, ठीक है। तो दीज आर द थिंग्स आई हैव रिटन एक्सटेंसिवली ऑन दिस। तो और भी लिखेंगे, और भी जानकारी मिलेगी आप लोग को, ठीक है। Someone else also had a question. Yeah, he's now using CAC NX 500. Yeah, HK indicator doesn't seem to work on cryptos. Not sure, Nagendra ji. I will have to check. But as long as supply demand characteristics के तहत pricing हो रहा है, it should work, man. ठीक है, ठीक है। मैं अभी लिख ही रहा हूँ। आई एम राइटिंग अ प्री लाइक मोर रिफाइंड स्टफ, ठीक है। आई विल शेयर ऑल दोज थिंग्स, एंड डोंट वरी, ठीक है। हेलो। जस्ट वाओ ब्रदर, जस्ट वाओ। यस। Happy that you find me. Happy to have you here, brother. Tell me. Okay. Uh huh. Yeah. So I have different levels where I try to be helpful for beginner people, especially like you. I write a free weekly newsletter that's called the Technical Take. In fact, I'm writing one which will go out tomorrow. This is free. There is also a paid version, which is basically 600 per year, which is basically 2 cups of coffee. And in that what I do is like थोड़ा personalized material भेजता हूँ मैं. Like if there is some name which I'm liking really so much, or if I found something really interesting in the market, I basically push one email every week. um, that's a paid one. Then I have a small course which is mostly targeted to beginners who are just started to trade, or who have already traded for 1 or 2 years but are still not profitable. And the only promise I make is, brother, if you are not profitable, you do my course and I'll tell you become profitable. Okay? So that is the course I have. And the third thing is I have a private group which is called Homma Private Access. And what I do there is I basically share my own trading, how my trading is evolving, how what and all new stuff I'm learning. So for example, Khela Hobe candle is something which I worked on recently. I've been working on this. I've been working on like how to catch momentum burst. So basically, you get to see me more closely. You also get a lot of alerts. You get also a lot of learnings, and I'm basically available to you, and the whole HPA community is also available to you, right? So that's the three different levels which I am providing right now. Can we like chat about this via WhatsApp? Uh, yeah. Yes, I will type my number in the inbox for you. Okay. Yeah. 9481506784. All right, guys. Any more? Not any more questions? Then I will take something else. हाँ बताइए, एक ही देखेंगे बिकॉज आज बहुत टाइम हो गया है. हाँ ये ब्रेकआउट हुआ है शायद आज. ये वाला ना. हाँ तो इसका क्या है. हमारे कैंडल्स नहीं आए इधर. हाँ ये देखिए ये. हाँ ये मैं ट्रेड नहीं करूँगा अभी राइट नाउ बिकॉज इसमें इसमें क्या है ना, इसमें वो नहीं है, इसमें क्या नहीं है, रिलेटिव स्ट्रेंथ ही नहीं है. मतलब बंदा बहुत, मतलब अच्छा रहता है, अच्छा रहता है. वो अच्छा रहता है मतलब ठीक है. तो अभी भी अगर ब्रेकआउट मस्त वाला आएगा तो ये ऑटोमेटिकली ये इट विल स्टार्ट टू आउट परफॉर्म. एंड यहाँ पे देखिए देर आर. देखिए वो तो अभी मतलब आपको वो तो अभी पीपी वीपी में नहीं समझाऊंगा मैं. आपको बेसिक चीज़ समझ रहा हूँ. लेट से पीपी नहीं था तो आप क्या करते, यू नो. तो बेसिकली ये क्या है, ये राइट ना अभी अभी बेसिंग चल रहा है इसका, ठीक है. तो स्टॉक्स क्या करते हैं एनी पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम में, इट डज ओनली वन ऑफ दीज टू थिंग्स. एक तो वो ट्रेंड करेगा, ये ट्रेंडिंग पीरियड था इसका. और सेकेंड थिंग इट विल डू इज बेसिंग. तो बेसिंग क्या करेगा, ये अभी बेसिंग पीरियड है, वो साइडवेज जा रहा है. एंड वेन एवर इट बेसिस यू कैन चार्ट आउट लाइक लेवल्स. तो नीचे वाला लेवल ये हो गया, ऊपर वाला लेवल ये हो गया. तो अभी ये क्या कर रहा है, बेसिंग के अंदर भी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कर रहा है. माने सप्लाई और सप्लाई की रेखा और डिमांड की रेखा है जो पास पास आ रही है. माने कि बायर्स और सेलर्स अभी भिड़ रहे हैं इस पे, ठीक है. तो जिस दिन सप्लाई एग्जॉस्ट एग्जॉस्ट हो जाएगा और और डिमांड फिर भी रहेगी, उस दिन ये ऊपर भागेगा. जिस दिन सप्लाई ज़्यादा हो जाएगा, डिमांड ख़त्म हो जाएगा, वो नीचे भागेगा. एंड जनरली व्हाट हैपेंस इज अगेन दैट होल थिंग स्टार्ट्स की. अभी वो ट्रेंड कर रहा था, बेस कर रहा है, बेस के बाद फिर ट्रेंड करेगा. तो एक बार ट्रेंड होना चालू हुआ तो जनरली when the market conditions are good then the trend sort of persists for a time. And that's why we trade breakouts. काहे कि ब्रेकआउट का शुरुआत में अगर घुस जाओ, तो अभी ये ब्रेकआउट तो हुआ नहीं है. तो वी डोंट नो कि भाई ये कब तक जाएगा. तो व्हाट जनरली हैपेंस इज ये 3T तो बनाती है जनरली, मैं देखा हूँ. ऑलमोस्ट 60% ऑफ स्टॉक्स बनाती है 3T. अब टी वी आपको पता नहीं है तो थोड़ा थोड़ा यू कैन सर्च एंड ऑल. बेसिकली कॉन्ट्रैक्शन होता है. तो कॉन्ट्रैक्शन क्या बोलती है कि भाई मतलब ये जो डिमांड जोन है वो ऊपर की तरफ जा रहा है, माने माने बायर्स आर गेटिंग स्ट्रॉन्गर एंड स्ट्रॉन्गर. तो नाउ द थिंग इज, कल को ब्रेकआउट आ सकता है, या 10 दिन बाद आ सकता है, या 15 दिन बाद आ सकता है, ये वो ब्रेकआउट आए ही ना. इसीलिए दैट इज़ वाई ब्रेकआउट ट्रेडिंग इज़ वन ऑफ द बेस्ट वे टू ट्रेड, स्पेशली इन अ मार्केट विच इज़ वेरी बुलिश. क्योंकि अगर आप ये धर के बैठ जाओगे 25 दिन तक आपका ये कुछ हिला नहीं है, तब तक देखिए बी एस सी वी एस सी फाड़, लाइक इट्स डन गिवन लाइक 2025 सारे रेलवेज भाग चुके हैं, राइट. सो देन यू विल बी लाइक अच्छा मतलब उस पर चढ़ जाना चाहिए था. सो ऑलवेज मेक श्योर दैट you get into a train which is started to move and not in a train which is still waiting in a station. Wow guys, I will stop here. I still have to speak for 5 minutes. So uh, not sure how many HPA members are here. HPA members, of course I can hear you, Misfit bhai, batao. Hi Satinder. Thank you so much, brother. OSM. Thank you so much. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Yeah. So I'll tell you, for sure I will do it. Yes. So this is basically extended from 20 SMA, right? So for example, right now HFCL close is how far from the 20 SMA? So 20 SMA is the yellow line, which is somewhere here. So right now it is 8% extended. Okay. Now 8, this 8% is a very arbitrary number. ठीक है? तो in a small cap or in depending upon stocks to stock, this 8 can be variable. Like for example, agar if a large cap is extended 10% from its 20 SMA, that could be extended, whereas in a small cap with a high volatility 8% is like normal, ये तो चलेगा, right? So then how you normalize it, how extend is extended, to normalize that, you then, if you convert this 8% to a number which is X ATR. Now ATR, for example, HFCL ka ATR is 3.5, right? So what X is 8% of 3.5? This would be 2.77. So 2.77 into the 3.5 is 8.3 or 9.18 exactly. Okay. So now from my personal experience of watching the charts, of the charts which I trade, which is mostly small caps and like micro caps and stuff like that, if I see that most of the time, like, so यहाँ पे नहीं आया है, और पॉसिबली, हाँ, कुछ कुछ और भी देख लेते हैं, कुछ और भी देख लेते हैं, ठीक है? सो हियर यू सी टाटा इन्वेस्टमेंट में इस दिन आया ना, इस दिन आने के बाद ये फिर इट स्टार्टेड टू गो साइडवेज, माने दिस इज़ अ वेरी पोटेंट सिग्नल विच सेज दैट भाई टॉप बन गया मेरा, आई एम वेरी एक्सटेंडेड नाउ, आई विल नाउ मूव बैक टू द मीन. सिमिलरली टाटा इन्वेस्ट में पहले भी दो बार यहाँ पे आया, तो इस दिन, देन नेक्स्ट नेक्स्ट वन मोर एंड देन इट स्टार्टेड टू. So this is because 7x of ATRs somehow magically works. Like it gives you a very nice figure where वहाँ उसके बाद फिर like things sort of move back to the mean. ठीक है? So this, and then and then if you trade large cap, so this number is not for you. The 7x extended is not for you, right? So then you have to accordingly see and do a lot of other stuff. So this is basically extension. Cool, man. Thank you so much. Satinder ji. Okay, guys. Now, what I wanted from the HPA folks is that tell me if this works, or should we separate out PP plus and BVHV, and should we have instantaneous alerts or alerts clubbed at like hourly alerts, something like that. Okay, maybe no one from HPA is here, so I'll take this up with them in the group.